Hello, I'm Ruben Bressler. Welcome back to the sideboard. I'm here with Gerry Thompson. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm 5-0 in the tournament right now. I've only lost one game, so it's looking pretty good. Hoping to make a top 8.
Wow, and you've elected with that really good record. I assume that's because you're playing the deck with the best mana base in Legacy.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yes.
12 islands.
12 islands, 6 fetch lands. You're playing High Tide.
I am. My islands aren't that pretty though.
Well,
but
they match at least.
Yeah.
So you decided to play High Tide this weekend. Tell us a little bit about the deck, why you decided to choose it, and why you think it's a good deck.
Okay, so I'm about sick of interacting in Legacy. I just don't want to do it. Everyone's coming at you from a bunch of different angles, and I don't want to try and fight that with like a Stoneforge deck or whatever. But Stoneforge, Maverick, Rug, like all these decks, just like you can't keep them down. You know, they're always prominent. And I feel like the format's slowing down. People are going away from like the show and tell decks, the Gristlebrand decks, because they can't beat the fair decks. So now I'm just going over the top of the fair decks, and I felt like this would be a good weekend to play High Tide again.
Excellent. And so one of the more interesting things about your version is that you're, of course, running Candelabra of Tawnos.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't have access to Candelabra of Tawnos, but you are able to run it. Talk to us about Candelabra.
Okay, well, basically the deck works by about turn 4 or so, you want to cast a High Tide with 4 islands in play, use some stuff to untap some of your lands, and then draw some cards with Time Spiral or Meditate. And so you need things to untap your lands. Some people play like the card Snap in combination with Snapcaster Mage or Cloud of Fairies to just keep untapping your lands, but Candelabra kind of like does all that on its own. It's super expensive, but I think it's worth it for the deck. It does open you up to some stuff like Stifle and Pithing Needle, but most of the time it's not that relevant, you know? So I think Candelabra makes the deck a little more stable, and you can do things with like 2 High Tides, a Candelabra, 4 mana, Cunning Wish for Capsize, and it costs 11 mana to like bounce this with buyback, replay it, untap all your lands, so you net a mana every time, so you can just get infinite mana and blue sun them instead of just like, you know, continually going off for 20 minutes. So just kind of cut out the middleman and kill them that way. So
now, a difference in your list that I've seen from most lists, you're only running 3 main deck Force of Will.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It just seems like better as a Cunning Wish target on turn 3 if I'm playing against another combo deck. Like you can get a Misdirection or a Pact of Negation or a Flusterstorm, but Force of Will is the only thing that could stop like a Show and Tell or something that like you actually need them to not cast, basically. So when you have Flusterstorm and Pact of Negation, you don't need that many like actual Force of Wills because you have some other counter spells. So having one on the sideboard I think is pretty good. And then against the like super fast decks, I just board in the Force of Will.
Oh, okay. So you've mentioned it twice. I guess we should just get to it. Cunning Wish is one of the more important parts of the deck because you have a Cunning Wish sideboard.
Yeah.
And you have pretty much your entire sideboard is devoted to being a Cunning Wish sideboard.
Yeah, I basically hate Cunning Wish and wish that I didn't have to play with it, but it makes things a lot easier. Like it's kind of like a bad Merchant Scroll. Like Merchant Scroll gets everything you want, like High Tide, Turnabout, whatever. And I even considered playing a High Tide in the sideboard. But for the most part, Wish, it's just like your answer to problematic permanents. If they play a Gaddock Teague or, you know, like they're dredging or something, like you just get answers to all these different scenarios, and it allows you to live till turn 4, like against a deck that's going to try and kill you on turn 3. So,
right. So you can wish for a combo piece in Turnabout. You can, or if you need to draw cards, you can pick the Meditate.
Yeah. Or if you need some counterspell backup, there's some packs, Force of Will. You have bounce spells, and then it lets you not have to play your win conditions main deck also, which is pretty nice.
Right, and your win conditions are Brain Freeze and Blue Sun Zenith, depending on if they have an Eldrazi, presumably.
Yeah, like Brain Freeze is the easiest way to kill people, I think, but with the Capsize now, like the Blue Sun has actually been better. I've killed more people with Blue Sun just because it's pretty easy to get Candelabra, 4 lands, and 2 High Tide.
So a couple other things that you can do you can wish for, or you can wish for Ravenous Trap against Dredge or other decks like Light from Below decks. You can also wish for Rebuild against Affinity. Have you had to do any, or do you have any other applications for that?
I played against Affinity round 1, and the games were so fast that I didn't have time to do it. But it's more for decks with lock pieces like Trinisphere and Chalice of the Void. Like if I'm able to cast Cunning Wish, I'm able to get Rebuild. If I had like 3 more sideboard slots, I might play Hurkyl's Recall so that I could side that into Scroll for it, because if I can Scroll, then I can cast Hurkyl's. So.
Excellent. Well, one last point. I noticed you're running the Silver Surfer High Tides.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Homerid High Tides, or...
Dude, I don't know. I just like the picture.
You like the Silver Surfer? I mean, it's a nice one. I don't mind it. It's just less common for me to see it. But I appreciate the matching pictures on your islands and on your high tides, and I also appreciate that you're taking this deck that hasn't seen a ton of legacy play, especially in the last several months.
Yeah.
And doing well with it.
I'm glad that I'm doing well. I really enjoy playing the deck a lot, but I'm getting old and my thought process is a little slower. I'm getting more tired during the day, so I don't know how often I'm going to be playing this deck because like my brain just hurts.
Right.
You know, so it is tough to play. It's mentally taxing, but it's good. Like you play against decks like Maverick or Stoneforge, and they're just too slow. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll let you go take a nap.
Okay.
In between the rounds.
Much
Gerry
appreciated.
Thompson, thank you for joining us in the sideboard. We'll see you guys later.